There's no longer such a thing as digital marketing. We're marketing in a digital world, and we all know the buyer's journey has changed so much. Digital has become so pervasive. The ultimate question is, do you want to be where your buyers are researching your products and services?
Hello, I've got Adam Fraser with me again. Welcome back, Adam.
Thanks a lot, John.
Hey, Adam, there's a big objection a lot of people raise to me about social media. They find they put a lot of time and effort into it and they can't see the return. Now, I've also known some customers of mine that get enormous return out of their social media. But, the biggest issue, going back to the old days of marketing, the CEO would say, I'm sure the marketing is producing a lot of revenue at the bottom line at the end of the day, but which 50% of the marketing is doing that, right? It's a little bit the same in social media, isn't it?
I think so. Look, we're coming up to, the John, I want to make a quote that 50% of my marketing's wasted. I just don't know which 50%. But John, I had a guest on the podcast recently that said, there's no longer such a thing as digital marketing. We're marketing in a digital world, and we all know the buyer's journey has changed so much. Digital has become so pervasive. The ultimate question is, do you want to be where your buyers are researching your products and services?
That's a really valid point, and some of the discussions we had today are all about that. And particularly as salespeople, we need to be there monitoring, listening and producing good, valuable content when the buyer starts going through their journey, right?
That's right.
So my point is, if you're doing that, investing a lot in doing that, looking for the triggers and influencing all of that, how do you know that that is creating revenue at the other end?
Yeah, look, and you're talking about attribution, John, and it's a very complex, tricky topic. There's multiple touch points and multiple factors that will go into any sale process, whether that's toothpaste, a car, or as you're talking about, a more complex, long-term B2B sales process. But, there's truckloads of stats from Forrester and Gartner and many others about the B2B buyer journey, and we do know that digital is playing an increasingly important part, and social is an important subset of that.
A lot of those stats are the 50-50 thing, the 50%, we know that it is creating revenue, but which 50% is creating that revenue. But there's some great tools out there and great concepts to be able to measure. I can tell you in a B2B environment, if I'm selling $1 million deals, when I close a $1 million deal in this day and age, we should be able to trace all the way back through the buyer journey, a sales process and buyer journey, and identifying all the attributes. What were the touch points?
Absolutely.
That happened 6, 12, 18 months ago that started that process, and what happened along the process. And then we can accredit our sales and our social media strategy and the value it delivered to the end result.
Absolutely. Look, and again, a theme of our conversations today, John, is how marketing and sales is becoming a more technology-driven function. It's also big data and analytics are becoming increasingly pervasive. So it's whether it's the number of white papers that were downloaded, the click-through rates on on newsletters, likes and vanity metrics on some of the social media publications, engagement rates. The data's all there, and the tools now exist to be able to pull that together and track it.
But if I can tell you, if I put out a document and get 1 million likes, but it only generates one order at the end of the day, I need to measure whether the cost of getting that 1 million likes was worth the $1 million order at the end of the day. So that's what we have to measure, that whole journey. Correct. And the investment we've made all the way along that in social media and other activities, of course.
Yep.
And that's not what a lot of us are doing, but in this day and age, we have the capability to do that. We can measure every activity along the journey, and when we do get revenue, we can track back and see what drove that revenue right back to where the status quo was updated, was upset in the customer environment.
Absolutely. Look, John, that's got to be the objective. Demonstrating return on investment, tracking metrics, statistical analysis. The buyer journey, as we know, is a lot more multifaceted, and it's no longer the straight line that it once was, but that shouldn't stop us attempting to do exactly what you're saying.
I think it's essential. In this day and age, with the data we have available and the analytics we have available, we can identify exactly what's returning and giving us a return on investment on our social media strategy.
Absolutely.
We need to do it.
Correct.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you agree with me, Adam.
Thanks a lot, John.